Professional troll Milo Yiannopoulos has resigned from Breitbart News a day after he was dropped by his publisher and lost a speaking engagement at a conservative conference over apparently pro-pedophilia remarks he made in a recently surfaced podcast. 32-year-old Yiannopoulos had been employed by Breitbart as a senior editor and said that his decision to resign was entirely his own. He thanked the far-right news site for allowing him to carry conservative and libertarian ideas to communities that would otherwise never have heard them. Yiannopoulos, a vocal Donald Trump supporter who rose to fame for his far-right views, is under fire for the comments he made in an excerpt from the Drunken Peasants podcast, which aired a year ago.
I've reviewed the tapes that appeared a few days ago in the proper context, and I don't believe that they say what is being reported. Nonetheless, I do say some things on the tapes that I do not mean and which do not reflect my views. But I do understand that the videos that you have seen, even though some of them were deceptively edited, paint a different picture, and I am partly to blame for that. I do not advocate for illegal behavior, but let's be clear about what's happening here. This is a cynical media witch hunt from people who do not care about children. They care about destroying me and my career, and by extension, my allies. They know that although I made some outrageous statements, I've never actually done anything wrong.
He initially addressed the controversy on Facebook, rejecting claims that he was an advocate for pedophilia. He said that while he regretted his past remarks, he claimed that the video had been deceptively edited.
Like you've spotted a trend in my argumentative method. How
If I knew someone around my age that was like, I just had sex with a 13-year-old, I would be creeped out, honestly.
Yeah, what is your age? What is your age?
I'm almost 35.
Okay, well, I'm talking about 28-year-olds.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes everything.
Well, you won't
Paul's
hear that
like,
in this
okay,
video,
cool.
I'm sure. I'm guessing, because I've never told this publicly, that you won't hear that in this video, but we're talking about 13, 25, 13, 28. These things do happen perfectly consensually. Often, by the way, it's the women who suffer in these, because what normally happens in schools very often is it's an older woman with a younger boy, and the boy is the predator in that situation. The boy is like, let's see if I can fuck the gym teacher, or let's see if I can fuck the hot maths teacher, and he does.
I'm sorry.
This arbitrary. I'll be quick. This arbitrary and oppressive idea of consent, which totally destroys, the understanding that many of us have of the complexities and subtleties and complicated nature of many relationships. People are messy and complex, and actually, in the homosexual world particularly, some of those relationships between younger boys and older men, the sort of coming-of-age relationships, the relationships in which those older men help those young boys to discover who they are and give them security and safety and provide them with love and a reliable and sort of a rock where they can't speak to their parents. Some of those relationships are some of the most
molestation to me. It sounds
well,
like,
you know what?
It sounds like Catholic priest molestation to me.
And you know what? I'm grateful for Father Michael. I wouldn't give nearly such good head if it wasn't for him.
Oh my God! I can't handle it.
Milo, who isn't a stranger to controversy, also made very disturbing remarks on the Joe Rogan podcast from 2015.
That's your people. Catholics trying to hide that information.
We're great at PR.
The last thing they want. I went to Catholic school, man, for a whole year. Cured me.
Well,
Fixed me up good.
That's where you get your fine sense of right and wrong from. No, wait, let's not do that.
Well, with right and wrong as far as what is right and what is wrong.
With you?
No, I got lucky. They beat me a little
What
bit.
do you mean you got lucky?
Me a
You
little
got
bit.
unlucky. You didn't get that taste of... no, like I said earlier, if it weren't for Father Michael, I would have given far less good head. I mean,
there was a real Father Michael?
So much less... he's going to get killed now, but...
Who was Father Michael?
I'm not... No, I bet...
Was a real dude?
I shouldn't...
Maybe suck his dick? For real?
Don't make me. I was quite enthusiastic about it. I fucked my English teacher too. But
How old was he at the time?
I don't know. He's quite young, quite hot.
Really?
Yeah.
And so that's where it all started? With Father Michael?
No.
Was that post the tranny?
Yeah, it was post. So I wasn't
drag
abused
queen?
as a child or anything like that.
So
it was quite a
you already had the five-some, and you're like, this is all wrong. I need to talk to Father Michael. He's like, suck my dick and shut the fuck up. And you're like, religion is
You
awesome.
see, I really had no hope, did I? I was never going to end well.
Well, it seems like you kept stumbling into dicks. I mean,
I just
don't
kept
know.
falling on them through life. You
I don't know
know,
what would have happened if a heterosexual
the
man
last
like me
30 years, I've just been falling on dicks.
was in the same circumstances as you early on. I mean, obviously things would have went very different. So I'm not sure if I buy the not born this way.
You'd go down great in a gay club.
Go down?
Well, I mean, you know, you'd
How
go down. You'd
dare
go down.
you.
We have
How
is that a British
dare you.
expression? You go down well.
No,
I don't mean oral
pretty
sex.
much. Yeah,
but,
yeah,
So go down well means you would you'd be popular. You'd
Go
get
down
attention.
well would be like the way you would describe a meal or a drink.
Oh,
you
like
know?
it goes down well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, we
Like taking the piss.
Yeah,
It took
so-
me a while to get what the hell
right.
that
Like,
meant.
do you want a cup of my? Yeah. Which again is another thing gay people seem disproportionately into.
They're into peeing on each other?
Well, there seems to be
It's all
there seems to
sin.
be water sports.
It's all
Well, this
decadence.
is it. You
It's
see,
all against the
this
Lord.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People are only gay to be transgressive.
Why
They
don't you just
choose
pray
to
the
be
gay away,
gay to be
Milo?
naughty.
How come you're not praying the gay
They
away?
choose to be gay to be
It
naughty.
seems like you have all
and now
the
being
right
a
components
homosexual
in place
I know.
to pray the
I
gay
know.
away.
I just can't
Full belief
tear
and
myself
respect
away
for Christian
from the dick.
values.
Can't tear myself away
Come
from the dick.
on.
And I've tried.
Maybe as you get older
Maybe I
and your
should be
sex
celibate or
drive
something.
dries up a
I
little
always
bit.
think I would have made a good priest. Do you think I'd make a good priest? I think I'd make a good priest.
Well, you make a
Great
good priest if you think the guy that made you suck his dick was a good priest. That kind of good
He was
priest.
a great priest. Honestly, like he was.
He was good other than that.
I've never had a better singing tutor. He was great.
Singing teacher.
He got notes out of me I didn't even know I could produce.
Ha ha! Well, he
Yeah.
worked your plumbing.
Shattering the chandeliers, kind of.
But was he good outside of what he did? Like, was he a good religious scholar? Was he a good
I
teacher?
think he was just a parish priest. I mean, I
Just
really
a fucking
shouldn't.
creep getting his dick sucked. Then
He's gonna get lynched now.
how's he gonna get lynched? Do people know who he is?
I don't think so.
What's his name?
Well, I'm not saying anymore.
Well, how old were you at the time?
I'm not just
You were a little kid and he was
stop
like what?
it. You're just trying. You're trying to.
Was
you're
he in
trying
his
to-
20s or
See,
30s?
Yet another feminist strategy that you have adopted in addition to your language
What?
policing.
Trying
is
to out pedophiles?
No, trying to go on this.
You were the one
witch-
who was
this witch hunt.
anti-pedophile
I
earlier.
told you it wasn't the pedophilia. I was
Well,
after I
certainly
lost my
is.
virginity. I was
How
in my
old were you?
teens. I was in my teens.
14.
I was in my teens.
You said
Something
you were
like
14.
something like that.
That's what you
I was
said.
in my-
14
I
is
was in my
pedophilia, buddy.
teens.
I don't know how they rocket in
I was
merry
in-
old England.
I was in my teens.
Over
I mean,
here in my country, and
you're saying
fucking
you've
where
never,
you are right
you've
now,
never
America.
seen a 15-year-old girl at any point in your life, however old you were, you've never seen a 15-year-old girl you thought was hot.
Yeah, when I was 15.
No, when
Thought
you
they
were
were hot as
25. When you were 25.
I'm not retarded, dude.
When you were 25, when you were 30, you will have seen
No.
girls about 15 you thought were hot.
No,
of
I thought
course
they
you
were little
did.
kids.
No, you didn't.
I thought,
Don't
damn,
talk
she's
bullshit.
gonna be hot, but I didn't want to fuck her.
Bullshit. Like
Not
9
bullshit
year-
at all.
Look,
You can't tell me what I was born into.
I think if you're 14...
Born like this.
You were born this way. You were born a dreary nitpicker.
No, you're trying to make it so I'm a fucking creeper like you. No, I'm not into 14-year-olds. How dare you, sir? No.
I'm not into 14-year-olds.
Well, that
Don't
fucking
put this
guy
on
that
me.
you said's a great guy. He was into 14-year-olds.
Fantastic. It was
Yeah, he's a
fantastic.
terrible person.
No.
He certainly was.
I was a very mature 14-year-old.
Yeah. Well, in your case, he got it right. You got the right guy to molest.
It wasn't molestation.
That's absolutely
It
molestation.
wasn't molestation. It was perfectly consensual.
I don't think it is when they're 14.
When I was 14, trust me, I was the predator.
Oh.
I was the predator.
You
at
were the
14.
predator. You
I
were
was
chasing after the
I was
priest?
the
He was
instigator.
trying to stay
I
close to
was
God?
chasing everybody. I was aggressively seeking out sexual company of adults because I knew it would horrify people, because I wanted sort of power over them. It was my way of rebelling. My way of rebelling. I was the predator at 14, let me tell you.
Do you think that's what's going on with that guy who directed X-Men? Bunch of
Brian Singer?
Yeah, a bunch of 14-year-old predators
yeah,
going after that poor man.
I'm not sure it's the case with him. No.
That's a guy.
You know,
who
I
needs-
lived in Hollywood a while ago.
Did you?
Briefly. And,
Did you go to one of his parties?
I went to other people who I won't name
Mm-hmm.
of a similar stature in Hollywood. I went to their boat parties and to their house parties and things, and some of the things I have seen have beggared belief.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you give us like a...
Well, just I don't want to be indiscreet about specific people.
Right, you don't
because
have to
I
do
think
that.
it's going
Just
to
dance
be,
around the facts.
Yeah, dangerous. But I can tell you the truth without dropping anyone in it.
Okay.
I mean, some of the boys there were very young. Very young.
And this is really recently?
I don't remember. No, like, I don't know, 8 years ago. I don't remember.
Statute of limitations.
I don't remember whether I ever met Bryan Singer or whether I even knew who he was then. But I knew other people of similar stature, as I say, and there were some very young boys around at that time. There was a lot of drugs and a lot of
twinks.
A lot of twinks taking drugs and having unsafe sex with older men, and some of these boys were very young.
It's quite strange that it took so long for these remarks that Milo had made in these two podcasts, which have gained millions of views, to surface. The Drunken Peasants podcast was uploaded on YouTube in January 2016 and has just over 500,000 views. The Joe Rogan podcast, in which Milo talked about his disgusting experiences, was uploaded on YouTube in September 2015 and has gained over 1.2 million views. It seems pretty much staged to me. It seems to be another event to divide and conquer and to continue with this Punch and Judy show, which is politics. A former intern and someone who had worked with Yiannopoulos for years, both in and outside of the Breitbart news network, claimed that Milo does not write many of his articles. Yiannopoulos confirmed in an interview with BuzzFeed News that he has about 44 interns, a mix of paid and unpaid, writing and conducting research for him, but he denied that other people write stories for him start to finish. Milo Yiannopoulos is well known for his hatred for Islam, feminism, trans people, amongst many other forms of prejudice. His whole career has been based on trolling and pushing hatred under the guise of free speech. Milo had openly boasted about his Jewish heritage and Jewish dominance of the world of finance, media, etc.
Mother is Jewish, so according to Jewish law, I'm Jewish, matrilineally speaking. That's their rule.
Most of the Generation Trump, the alt-right people, the people who like me, they're not anti-Semites. They don't care about Jews. They may have some assumptions about Jews. They may have some prejudice about Jews, like the Jews run everything. Well, we do. The Jews run all the banks. Well, we do. The Jews run the media. Well, we do. You know, I mean, they're right about all that stuff. Now